No Facts, All Feelings wrestling podcast on the Social Suplex Network. I'm Allie.
I'm Ann.
And I'm Leah.
How are my girls this week?
Well,
flourishing.
What a week.
Everybody was so nice to us about a 4-year anniversary.
Thank you,
I
everyone.
really appreciated it.
It was so nice. We forgot to say it was our 200th episode, too.
Yeah.
So.
Episode as
That's
well.
right.
Yeah.
We just didn't mention that. I love that about us.
Yeah.
That we just don't know what we're talking about most of the time, even about our own podcast. But yes, yeah, everyone was really sweet. Thank you,
Everyone
guys.
was really nice. Rich and James from O&R were very, very kind. I teared up a little bit. They were so nice to us.
We
Joining
are
the
your
social-
soul sister pod.
Yeah, we
Thank
are
you.
your sister, whether or not you like it, James.
We're your annoying little sister.
Whether or not you're entirely comfortable.
It is what it is, you know? Yes.
But joining the Social Suplex Network was absolutely the best choice that we've done as a podcast.
I know. And we were scared to do it because we were like, I don't know why. I don't know why this is happening to us.
I know. We were like, they know that we're stupid, right? I think they're real podcasts.
It was like Liz Lemon being asked out by the hot guy being like, why? Because
What's
I
your
think
game?
it would be fun. Yeah.
Oh, but you know, beautiful things happen even to idiots. So never stop believing that you're stupid, but that you can still be happy. You know? Would you say that's right, guys? Was that the right takeaway? Okay.
What's the Andy Samberg movie? Never stopping.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
That's us.
Okay, guys. So we're all a little zonky this week. I went to Dynamite last night.
Dynamite,
live.
you know it.
Hey, guys, you heard of the show Dynamite? Well, I went to it last night, and as Kenny called it, St. Paul's. I did. He said that, and I just turned to. I went with friends of the pod, Anna and Josh. They've guested before. You know them, you love them. I just turned to Anna, and I just went, "He's Canadian." I'm like, apologize. It's like none of us are even like from St. Paul, but I was just like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry for what he just did. It's crazy."
He's a foreigner. Don't worry, we'll annex them. They'll
He'll learn when he's in the 51st state.
Minnesota's usually trying to get annexed. We're like trying to get into Canada, really, but they don't want us for good reason. What was I going to say? The Minneapolis crowd was quite funny. I just want to say a couple of things up front.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys think this is normal? That Justin Roberts kept, like, during, before the show and then during some commercial breaks, kept trying to introduce referees to the crowd, and every single one of them got booed except Aubrey, who got cheered belligerently.
Okay, I think it's normal for him to introduce the ref
Delightful.
because I remember that, but I don't think it's normal for them to get booed. That's
What the booing thing is what I was like,
interesting.
this can't be what happens everywhere. It's like, it's like Rick Knox got booed, Paul Turner got booed, and I'm like trying
Turner got booed.
I'm like trying to put it together, like, what have they done? Or Mike Posey, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He's a ref that we have.
Yeah.
He got booed really hard. Like,
Those are some
liked it.
innocuous refs. Yeah, like
Mike Posey is the ref who's like, if you paid me, I never remember like who the ref was. Like if I'm ever being like, was there a ref? It's always Mike Posey because he's nothing.
Oh yeah.
It's great
is
to
a
know
very
that he
bland
does go
man.
here, because actually when he introduced him and everyone booed him, I was like, maybe he's like some local guy.
Although looking at his face, it's like, yeah, it's a booable face, you know? Like, so...
So he has bad vibes, and the crowd was right to
Yeah.
boo him, you think.
Sorry, Mike.
The other thing I want to comment on, does Justin Roberts usually call the merch table the souvenir stand?
No, and that's so funny because like I think about like the places that sell like bumper stickers and magnets.
Yeah, it sounds like it's on the boardwalk or something, yeah.
He said it repeatedly. He just kept saying, like, and don't forget to visit the souvenir stand, which I guess it is the kind of thing that would happen to me on this podcast, where I'd be like, there's this phrase I say it every week. I can't think of it right now, so I guess I'll just say something pretty deranged instead. Maybe that's what was going on. Like, you know, you're live. What are you going to do? But
Maybe he thought he was translated into Minnesotan, do you think?
Oh, he's like, they don't know about merch up here.
To be honest, it's kind of an addictive phrase. Now
It's
I'm
fun.
like, will I keep calling it that? Probably.
Yeah.
Let's hit the
Probably.
souvenir stand.
Should we
Yeah.
start calling like our chopped tea store our souvenir store?
Oh, shit,
yeah.
yeah.
Our souvenir stand.
Our
yeah.
souvenir stand.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
have a
Get some
souvenir
souvenirs.
stand.
Get a
Find it
Tunnel
at
Talk souvenir.
shop-tees.com. I
Get
did
some
just
souvenirs, yeah.
Okay. You guys are gonna love souvenirs of this great show. Yeah, but I had a fun time. I'll give you guys some updates throughout the night on what was going on with me. It's fun when you go in person. I mean, it's an electric atmosphere, and also you have no choice but to really only watch the wrestling, and that is just such a fun new experience. You know.
You really stared at all of it. Yeah. Did Anna and Josh have fun?
Yeah, they had a really good time. Yeah, got a lot of kind of casual fan reactions to
Yeah.
report back about
Love
you know
that.
what we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really fun, and we had good seats. We were on the hard cam side, which I wanted to be, and we were at the front of the balcony, so you can just kind of lean over the balcony. It's so fun.
And did it feel like they were kind of like talking
Yeah.
to you?
Oh,
Isn't that so
totally, yeah.
cool? I love
Yeah.
that. That's why I love hard cam. Like
But I
people
also
are always like, I want to be on camera, and I'm like, all you see is their backs.
I also felt really protected though, because I kept being like, I mean, I was on a balcony anyway, but I was like, they can't get me here. They won't catch me on camera. They weren't gonna catch me on camera anywhere. But
Every time they were panning over to that side, though, I was like staring
Where
at
is
the
she?
crowd, being like, "Where?" But I
you
didn't see
couldn't
it.
find me. I didn't even wear a bright color. I wore a dark camouflage green to be like, it won't show up on TV. Okay. Should we get into our topics for the week, girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start as Dynamite did with Kenny. So Kenny opened the show. He was fighting a man named Blake Christian that I don't think any of us know anything about. And it was maybe cool that he fought him, or maybe it was bad that he fought him. I don't think that the community could agree about that. But what I can say is that I enjoyed the match.
What did you think about the man's nickname, Vanilla Baby? Because I thought I was being punked at first.
I just had that. I had to look it up earlier. There was a song that came out like last year or something that was a TikTok audio that went really. Everyone was using on TikTok where it's like the guy goes like, "I'm Vanilla Baby," da, 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 something, and so I just had it stuck in my head for actually most of the match. I don't think it's like a cool nickname, but I thought maybe it was like dumb on purpose. Does that seem
Yeah.
right?
Probably.
It's always so hard to parse how much of wrestling is a purposeful joke and how much is not, you know?
And it really
think it
varies
could-
from person to person.
Yeah, it's kept purposefully vague. And when you meet a new man, you just really have no idea.
No. But he seemed like he had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Because he did, I actually didn't really notice it from the balcony, but I was rewatching some of the show today and I did catch that he shoved his hand in his pants and then licked it and then pretended to shoot the audience.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, that's entertainment, I think. That's kind of fun. Sometimes I worried that wrestling is like my standards for entertainment have never been lower.
Well, it is sometimes we're like, look, they tried. Many men don't even try.
He did something.
It's so
He
true.
put his hand on his balls. That's not nothing.
I mean, it's Shakespearean, really, I think.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much. It was mostly ball-based humor back then.
Yeah. You didn't have a TV in your house. You had to go to a crowd and watch people do things at you, you know?
It was funny to watch the Kenny match without commentary because I was really trying to gauge how much gut stuff was going on. And so I just kept leaning over to Anna and being like, see, he's clutching his guts. It's his gut. He's clutching his guts because of the diverticulitis. Josh is over there just being like, he had what? What did he have? In the middle of the...
It's good you glossed it for them because it was pretty subtle acting that he was doing, I think.
Guys, check it out. It's his guts again. He's worried they could come out.
He's trying to stuff him back in.
Josh suggested that maybe Kenny could develop like a fun like vomit finisher based on it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I
Honest
thought
to
that was
God,
good.
I think that if he we made that suggestion to Kenny, he'd be like, Tony, please. Tony, please.
Please, Tony, let me do the puke finisher. So they had the match. He won. He hopped on the mic afterwards. St. Paul's. Tony Khan doesn't always let me wrestle, but he had to let me wrestle here. What do you mean? Whatever, Kenny.
Yeah, Tony Khan couldn't pass up a match with Blake.
I really did think it was a fun match. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had no beef with it at all.
No beef with it at all. So then he was cutting a little promo being like, the international title is legitimately everything to me. It's my fucking legacy. Kenny, you were the world champion, but it's okay.
When people get the international belt, like, is the belt doing something to them? Because it really does seem to become some of their whole personalities.
I
Jay
agree.
White is seducing. Oh, no, it's not Jay. Jay is the other belt.
But maybe it is Jay, you know?
Jay is
Or a
every
man
belt.
very much like him.
But that match against Blake Christian, I didn't realize until I was compiling the card for the schedule, that was a non-title match. Now, why do you think that was? if the belt is now Kenny's new reason for
Lover,
living,
yeah.
why wasn't it on the line?
It does make it seem also like Blake Christian has bad management. Like, they got him a match with Kenny, but they couldn't get him a belt match. Like, I don't know. Work harder. Well,
I
anyway.
like the idea that the managers are the ones, like, getting the matches booked for them. Like, that's Prince Nana's job, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
guess,
get Barry.
I guess I did
Gotta
imply
get Barry.
that.
What's his name in there?
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to create jobs for the managers. Like, I'm like, they
And
must
honestly-
do other stuff other than just come out to the ring. Like,
I'd love it if it was textual from them, you know? Like, just, Blake, you'll never believe what I got for you.
this is a special episode of our behind the scenes of our like sitcom where it's like we're only with the managers. It's a little manager, you know. They're having a manager con. They go to a special manager conference to learn how to be better managers and to network amongst each other.
To network.
Okay, this is not nothing.
It's not
Wait,
nothing.
not
This
nothing.
is not nothing.
The managers should unionize.
We stand with management.
We stand with. Okay. Well, that scared me. So we might.
They get 15% of the matches that their guys get, you know?
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so Kenny's on the mic. I love being the international champion. It's the only thing that matters. I know Speedball Mike Bailey. We've met before. Speedball Mike Bailey comes on out. We get a little promo from them. Speedball Mike Bailey, very funny cadence. Very funny little cadence. And very funny little stance in the ring. Like, he did look like he was about to, like, be in a little video game, you know?
I was obsessed with every part of it because also he did a pack-like thing where he came out and I was like, oh, I don't think he should be wearing street clothes. I think that looked wrong.
Odd. His face looked weirder, and with the mullet, I don't know, there was something going on where you're like, what time period are you from? Like, where shouldn't you be in an arcade? I don't know.
Well, he does kind of look like he's like a vision of the future from the 80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's fun. Anyway, he was like, yeah, Kenny, we do know each other. I respect you. I would even go so far as to say, I thought he was going to say, I love you. And I got really excited. Finally. But he just said that he admires him.
The
And-
strange cadence, which everybody told me was just him being from Quebec, made it seem like some of those words had capital letters, but not words that you'd expect. Like, that's kind of like what was going
That's
on here.
right.
I felt like he was doing like a Winnie the Pooh type capitalization
Yeah.
that I was obsessed with.
It
Everyone
was quite
was like, he's a
arresting.
Yeah, he was like, everyone's like, he's a bad promo. And I was like, I was fascinated. I was riveted.
I know, it's like the content of his promos could be pretty bad, but I'd probably still I'd keep listening because you just never knew, like, you also never knew how long a pause was going to be. They weren't the normal length. None of them. I was kind of a fan. So then they're talking, and then Ricochet got a little on-screen video being like, I'm getting married, but don't forget about me. I can't wait to win the match. And, you know, this was all pretty standard stuff. I had a nice time. I'd say the real takeaway line from this whole segment was Kenny saying, Dynasty is not about making any friends. I have a cat. I don't need any more.
Like, it's so funny to say that Dynasty in particular is not about making friends.
None of them are.
And then B, like Ospreay in the back and catering just bursting into tears, you know?
And I had this
Oh my
strong
God.
vision of him like at Gorilla being like, Kenny's doing a promo and he's doing so good. I'm so proud of him.
She's
That's
like
my friend
poking
Kenny.
people like, that's my friend.
That's my friend. He's doing so good. I'm so proud
And
of him up there.
The last time Kenny said my friend Will Ospreay, the last time
Yeah.
he did a
Well,
live
he
said-
promo, so
Did he say
So
my
he's-
friend or he said my buddy Will Ospreay maybe? Like it's like Kenny, I don't know. I think he might be playing word games and in doing so playing games with Will's heart.
Yeah. 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 Something. But like you could just
But yeah.
picture backstage for Will Ospreay to be so worked up and happy and then that line hits and it's just like deflating.
Especially because Will Ospreay is a dog. He is a golden retriever and Kenny just
Yeah.
went out there and just said, "I'm a fucking cat person." I've had it with this charade. I'm a cat person and I'll never love you the way you want me to. I do think he did go to the bathroom and cry. I
Yeah.
think he's might still be crying.
Like he like
Yeah.
excused himself in a strangely froggy voice and then like fast walked away.
and then
says
he got
he's-
on a plane back to England and just cried the
Oh
whole
my
way
God.
there.
I'm just mental image of him completely empty-handed, just going, "Excuse me, I'm getting a call." He gets drunk on mini bottles of champagne on the plane and cries on a stewardess, just being like, "And I really thought I had something this time. I really thought that finally there was someone who cared about me and I cared about him." She's like, "It's a breakup, I guess. I don't really understand what's going on here, sir. I can get you another bottle of champagne, though." All right. Anything you want to say about Kenny or the international belt?
I think that Dynasty match is going to be super fun. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really excited about all of that. It is just a very funny set of dynamics. Like, I'm just like, now these three men, what would that be like in a blunt rotation?
I want to learn more about the Speedball Mike Bailey Kenny history that they both referenced, but I don't have any details yet. I was
No.
like, okay, well, what do you guys do with each other? You know?
he was like, Speedball is
Do
new to
with
you,
each other.
but not to me. And,
Tell me more.
and
Did
what
you
went
get
on?
very far? Okay. Let's move on to the men's title scene. Hangman and Swerve had a brief backstage interaction. Let me just let you guys know what was happening in the arena at this point in the show. I guess it was commercial break or something. So Justin Roberts spent all night being like, "Is anybody here going to All In Texas?" And like getting like a couple of cheers and then being like, "Is anyone planning to go to All In Texas?" Like a teacher who's like, "I know you didn't do your homework, but can you give me something? Like, I'd just love for you to just be like, yeah, we love All In Texas." And so during this commercial break, he was like, "Well, we have 2 tickets to give away to All In Texas." And I was like, this is a good opportunity for me to go pee. So I leave as he's being like, "Okay, I'm going to pick 2 people and then we're going to have," I thought he said like, we're going to have some kind of we're going to have a quick match and then the winner will something. I'm peeing. I hear cheering as I'm gone. I come back, whatever the next segment is has started, and Anna's like, "Hangman and Swerve while you were gone." I
Oh,
flipped
no.
out.
Oh,
I was like, "What do
no.
you fucking
You
mean?
missed
Hangman
it? Oh,
Swerve while I was
no.
gone?" Well, yeah, but except that I was envisioning, I didn't understand that it was a video package at that point.
Oh.
So for some reason, I, in my mind, was just like, oh, 2 people were going to fight, Hangman and Swerve, and they probably just came out and like dueled for a minute and then left. I can't believe I missed it. I don't know why I put it together that way in my head in the moment. That's totally deranged.
No, I
It's
can
not
see
what
where you
happened.
got there, but it is very funny to think of them being like, "We've got 2 tickets to give away. There's going to be a little match," and then Hangman and Swerve just do like a little squash for you.
Well,
in
but
60
for
seconds.
some reason, also in my mind, and I knew that this is just like what I kept envisioning was just that like it. I can't believe I'm even going to say it's so stupid to just be like, this is how my brain works. That someone would just be like, "Look on the balcony," and it was Hangman and Swerve swashbuckling each other and just crossing from there to there and then disappearing again. Wow, a little sword fighting. But, anyway, that's not what happened. What do you guys think of what actually happened?
I watched 2 different group chats do this, and it cracked me up. Where it was like, they went, "Oh, Hangman Swerve!" Everyone sat the fuck up.
I was not expecting Swerve to bop in on
No.
that at all, and he came in with such an intense energy. It was, I don't think I heard a
Hangman
word they said the first time.
really met him at that level. Right, the fact that he just like Swerve hasn't come on screen yet, and Hangman's like, "I'm taking my coat off." Finally, a treat for Papa.
He saw Swerve, and he's immediately disrobing.
It's like that's what he's doing when he's bursting into Swerve's dressing room, you know?
In a
It's just
moment of
habit.
weakness.
And Renee's just always there. Renee's just always nearby, being like, "Oh, guys, in front of my salad." Yeah. So Swerve was like, "I did not hear you say that you're gonna try to interfere with my championship again." Hangman said, "Bitch, did I stutter?" They just got up really close, and Swerve's being like, "Don't you fucking dare!" Blah 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 blah. And then they got yanked apart. Okay. So then later in the show, Swerve came out for an in-ring promo in which he was like, "Jon Moxley, I'm calling you out. I need you to come talk to me face to face." Jon Moxley did come out, but very slowly. He slowly
slow.
sauntered out through the crowd. I've said here like a cat that wants you to know it's not coming because you called. It's like, it was actually 100% my decision to come into the kitchen right now. And I make all my own decisions. They went back and forth about the title a little bit. Let's just kind of break it down together. What do you think what were both of their approaches to the promo?
I thought that Swerve did a pretty decent job being like calling out some of like stuff that felt very true about Mox, where he was like, I should have had this open, but when he was just, what happened to you? You used to be revered. It felt like a bit of like, is he allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I did think Mox's was a little less like trying. Like I said to Anne last night that I was like, you could have put Jay White in the ring and had Mox say the exact same sentences, and it would have been fine. He would never have known the difference.
Yeah. Like I thought Swerve did an amazing job. Like he was hitting Mox pretty hard on these things that felt right, and his energy was like so intense that it really worked. And then Mox did fine. Like it wasn't bad, but
I thought it was one of his more sensical promo segments in recent memory. I will say that, even though I don't dispute what you're saying, that it was not specific.
It totally was. It was definitely like a better one, but he was saying stuff like, "Oh, like the match of April 6th is going to be like Swerve versus Swerve, really like you're fighting yourself because you like have to live up to your own potential, you know, and whatever." And it was like, Swerve really doesn't get in his own way though, so it just didn't feel like it really hit hard for me.
Right.
Although it is kind of hard to think like if I were gonna like hit Swerve with stuff.
Well,
I don't know. He could have like gone in on like how Swerve's like lost a ton lately and that kind of thing, I guess. But
I guess the getting in your own way thing, I mean, that is a theme that Swerve has worked with, and especially has worked with in the Hangman storyline, which is it's like you pushed him too far for no reason, and then you've been like dealing with the consequences of that ever since. So he does have that. But I agree that I don't think it fully added up in this promo. And it was kind of like, okay, well, Mox, I think maybe we could build Swerve versus Mox. It's not nothing to do that. In the moment, though, I felt kind of interested in it because it felt like, but then I feel stupid saying that
No, you should, because I thought it was
understand.
interesting.
What I took from it in the moment was that Mox kept being like Swerve is a face right now, and Mox kept being like, but will you stay that way when you have to face me? Like, how far are you willing to go? Like, how badly behaved are you willing to be to deal with me? And that Mox is kind of like, he like wants you to be bad, you know, to get on his level, which again, it's like another theme that Swerve has had. So then I was interested in it because I was like, okay, well, you show me Hangman and Swerve, and then you have this promo where Mox is like, seems to be being like, stop. I want to see the unhinged version of you that has like that you've gotten a grip on recently. And I've just seen you not have that grip anymore. The viewer, have just seen you not have that grip anymore. And Hangman has been kind of like face turning. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just like, it's like Lucy in the football where I'm like, I see you showing me things I love. Like you're going to give them to me. Are you planning on giving them to me?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the stuff they're doing lately, like, is exactly what you would be doing if you were going to move into, like, a Hangman Swerve top of the card situation. But
Yeah.
I don't believe them, or do feel like fool me once.
Yeah.
So, it's a bit of an odd place to be in, because if they do it, it'll be like, yeah, that was, like, really obvious that they were going to do that, but also, like, I don't think they probably are. I don't know. You're just, like, end up in a stupid mental back and forth about it.
I would love it if that is where, if you're right and that's where it's going, because Mox pushing Swerve so far that he turns heel would actually be fantastic, and that's exactly what I would want for a match between them. I'm not entirely convinced, because so much of this Mox stuff has just been so directionless, but he's pulled it out before, so who knows? Like, please?
Yes, and it is possible for, like, Hangman to interfere and, you know, and it ends up with Swerve winning, you know, backfiring or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
things could happen.
It would be really killer for Hangman to interfere, to be like, he can't win again, but then accidentally ensure that Swerve does win. Like, that would be
really
brutal.
Juicy, yeah.
But then I also was kicking around. I'm like, could you do anything interesting with, like, Hangman, like, making himself not interfere, but somehow, but then, like, watching as
he wins anyway.
But then, like, that, like, somehow you unhinge Swerve that way. Because, like, some part of, I don't know, like, if Swerve is, like, pushing himself so far and, like, you know, it's like, I don't think this would be what's going on, but it's like if there's a little bit of an unconscious, like, I can push myself actually as far as I want because I have, like, this, like, Hangman is, like, connected to, like, Hangman will intervene. You know what I mean? To have this idea of, like, I have a foil, and so, like, maybe I can never go too far because, like, my foil would stop me from going too far. But, like, if my foil has, like, regained self-control and is like, I won't interfere, then, like, there's no one to stop you, and then you just, like, murder Mox, and it's like, oh, I have a murder bell? Now I have a murder bell? I'm not sure I'm making any sense, and again, I don't think that's what's happening, but I actually did, like, when I watched this promo, I was like, I really felt, like, weirdly confident. I was like, wow, I think I might be getting a lot of what I want. Like, I think this is going in a direction I like. But then that confidence quickly, you know, waned, because, again, I don't have any trust, faith in the booking.
No.
So
whenever we're ever like, and this is what's happening,
we've
like,
never been right.
We're never right.
We've never been right.
Yeah, but it would be really nice. I would be really excited.
And I will say, Mox said at one point, he said, "You haven't suffered enough yet," and I thought that was a pretty good line. Like, he's really delivered it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, I feel that. You haven't suffered enough. Okay. You will suffer. On April 6th at the Toronto Superdome.
He did say the date so many times, which is very funny because it always just makes me think of, like, a post where it was like, you know, wrestling promos are so funny because they're like, I'm so mad at you, and that's why on April 6th at 7 p.m. in the Wintrust Arena.
I know. I think about it every time, and it's like, it does. Time. I like really can't pull out and experience them naturalistically.
No.
At all, really. Okay. Also in the old title scene, we had an Ospreay package. Now, what did they even say about him? Just like, he's fun. There's like just a video.
I don't even really remember.
This was disappointing because they played the package and then they blasted his music at the end like he was coming out, and I was like, oh, I didn't think he was going to come out, but he's coming out. But then he didn't. It was instead Top Flight came out or something, and it was like, well, I'm happy to see them, but that's what I thought was happening
in the bathroom alley.
They blasted his music and he just screamed, "Not now, Tony!
I can't do it, Tony.
If you've ever had your heart broken, you'll take pity on me." Meanwhile, it's like Kenny is just in his dressing room petting his cat. He brought to die. Jay White also joined the Owen and called out past interactions that he has had with Ospreay and Hangman both. Yeah. So that's fun. You know.
Yeah. I mean, an Owen with Jay White, Hangman, and Ospreay is it's gonna be a good Owen. Like
Yeah, of
that's
course
fun.
it's gonna rock.
It's already better than every previous Owen, so I think anyway.
I think so. I feel like the Owen is our most like
Guys, how could you say that? Jeff Jarrett's not here.
not yet. They had to pull him out of the MJF storyline because they were saving him for the Owen.
I'm gonna be so psyched when he struts back out here.
I don't know anything.
You have to
Oh, go.
explain how Claudio came off to the casual viewer. You know, here.
Well, so they had the part of this where what was happening? Prince Nana was on the sidelines, and Claudio came out to like stand menacingly behind him, and Swerve had been kind of like going off on Mox, and then Swerve had to be like, "Okay, I'll be cool," because I guess the implication being like Claudio's gonna beat up Prince Nana with the briefcase if he doesn't behave. But what did Josh say? Afterwards we were discussing it, and he was like, I don't know. Anna just kept saying like the belt's in there, the belt's in there, and Anna was like, the belt was in there, and I'm like, well, maybe the belt could be in there. I don't think the belt was very relevant in that moment. It's more about having a blunt object. And Josh just kept saying, why was he standing so weird? I said, what do you mean standing so weird? He was like standing like his hips were like really forward. Like he's just like standing dick first. I said, well, what did you think was going on? He was like, I don't know. I just thought he was a pretty weird guy. Which I feel like is not what Claudio usually gets.
No, Claudio usually emanates like the normalest man in the room, but
I loved it. I was like, wow,
yeah,
I love to hear
I'm
that
excited to hear that.
he came off like pretty undignified.
Yeah.
That's
fun.
cool.
I now have to watch him walk. Like, I feel like I'm gonna go back and like try to rewatch it because imagining Claudio's very long, big body, but he's walking hip first is so fun to imagine.
I don't know if he was walking hip first or just like standing hip first, but I don't know what he was doing. But like Josh's vibe was like, who let this schlub in here? That's just some guy off the street they let in here. And I like at one point I just went like, he was at WWE. And then I was like, oh, Allie, that's so disappointing of you. Like
You're trying to give his
oh,
credentials.
come on. A schmuck is a schmuck. All right. Let's check in on the women's title scene. So Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm had a backstage promo in which they kind of touched on their past history and, they've fought together in the past, but they've also fought each other and attacked each other in the past. Thunder Rosa was kind of playing straight woman. It was pretty fun. And Toni proudly said that their team name is Thunder Tits. And Thunder Rosa was like, that is not what I was going to say. And Toni was like, I don't care.
I actually did like that moment because Thunder Rosa was like, we have actually a pretty normal tag team
Like
name that people are very
like
impressed with the catchiness of it. And Toni was like, it's nothing to me.
And the crowd immediately loved it. The crowd was like, we get to chant Thunder Tits. Anna goes, when they started chanting it, she just goes, and they mean it like a good thing. I was like, yeah, everyone likes it. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like, it's over, so. They main evented versus Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne. I thought this was a pretty good match, although I was getting sleepy. I will say that, unfortunately. That's true of the main event always, but I feel bad when it's the women. You know?
I know. I'm like, there's never been a main event that I've watched in its entirety because I'm like, I'm sleepy. I'm snug as a bug as a rug.
They start at 9:55 and they go till 10:15 or whatever.
It sucks that it's like it's an honor to main event, but to us it's like the least respected slot.
Yeah. I'm like, let's get some of this energy to have the women open.
I agree.
Man, have the women ever opened?
I don't not that I can
Toni
remember.
probably has, but certainly not regularly.
Let's start that crusade.
Yeah.
The women's division needs to start opening. MJF, give that up.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, I thought it was a fun match, and Megan Bayne, I think like no-sold the hip thing, the hip move, whatever it's called, and then she got pinned by. Oh, Megan Bayne pinned Toni Storm. Megan Bayne pinned Toni Storm for the win.
And Toni looked so startled. Like,
She did.
it was very funny. She was like, How could this happen
How
to
could
me?
this happen to me? What do you guys think about? Oh, Leah, you had something to say about Penelope Ford.
Also, at the end, I forgot to rewatch this and make sure that I was right, but I think I am right. At the very end, when Megan Bayne was like standing tall and being like so proud that she won, for a moment, Penelope threw her arms around Megan Bayne's stomach in the funniest possible way, like a little kid, like just being like, and I was like, okay, this is a dynamic they need to exploit, because I would like that very much.
I actually did think that all night Penelope was doing a great job of like, she was kind of giving like Harley Quinn energy. Like, she's just like, I love you so much and I'm so loco. And I really liked that. I thought it was good.
Yeah. I would love it. I would love it if she just became like a capering little minion who's just like, anything boss says, I do.
I know. And she's been doing a good job at it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is like a pretty good role for her. You know, you might say like maybe Megan Bayne should do more, but
can she? Yeah.
We don't know. That's something that we don't know, and we can maybe never know.
And that kind of like, I love you so much, minion. Like, that's not a dynamic we've seen a lot of, so that's new and fun. I like that.
I like that. I like a good minion.
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think about, I don't know, the discourse approaching Dynasty with respect to the women's title?
It is interesting. How many people want Megan Bayne to like squash Tony or win very decisively, which is like fine, except like to me, having seen Megan Bayne, it's like I like her. I've liked her matches, but I haven't really seen anything where I'm like shoot her to the moon, like this is it, you know? And it's interesting so many other people are seeing that.
I am not usually one who notices things like this, but and this is just, I mean, I produced for Trish and Sarah too long. If Megan Bayne won, then that would mean that the main titles in the company are being held by Mox, who like, we haven't seen what a belt, but like presumably has it. Then it's the Hurt Syndicate, who is like crushing everybody. And I'm like, I don't know. It just feels like that's a lot heel.
Oh, a lot of like
big bean
monster.
Yeah.
Monster heels. Thank you, Anne.
Yeah. And I'm like, I kind of want the belt to be held by somebody who's doing something a little fun. Like, I don't have anything against Megan Bayne, but I'm just a little leery because it's like, that's the mean monster person is very rarely my favorite, and she's brand new to the company, and I don't think she's that like I mean I could be wrong because I don't really know, but like hasn't been in wrestling that long, has she?
I don't know.
So I kind of feel like I'm like, it's kind of fast to be doing this, and it seems like the wrong time, and feels like you're going to set her up for failure, but also maybe it's fine because what the hell do I know?
Yeah, like it could totally be fine, but there is a lot of talk like this would really make Megan Bayne, which I feel like because people have to make themselves. Like,
yes, they do.
Booking obviously needs to support it, but you watch like Ricky Starks get like big pushes and never go anywhere because he never delivered on them. So it's like just Megan Bayne winning decisively against Tony isn't going to make her a superstar. Right. She has to like be interesting,
right? Because like the reverse of Ricky Starks is like Mariah May got the belt and got made by the way she won the belt, but then she had kind of a disappointing title reign because they had no plans for her before Tony came back. Like everybody just treaded water until it was time for Tony to come back. And I'm like, if they do something like that with Megan where she gets the belt in a very cool, big, strong way, but then they don't have any plans for her.
And that's what I keep thinking when they're like, she's got to get out there and squash her, win really good. It's like, and then what? Like then Megan Bayne poses with the belt for months? Like I don't know.
Right. It depends on how good the poses are.
Right.
I think it's interesting because I really don't feel super strongly for or against, mostly because I don't have any sense of, as you're saying, like what they would want to do with Megan Bayne once she would be the monster heel on top, or what I think they want to do with Tony going forward. So it's like a big blank slate for me. And so I'm kind of like, well, I think you could sell me on anything, but I'm definitely not sold on the idea that like the thing to do is for Megan Bayne to win. Like my heart is quite open don't know anything here. I don't feel like I
Right.
know anything, but like I hope you
Right.
guys know something. I hope you have like a good plan for whatever
Right.
whoever is going to keep the belt, and that you plan on doing another like fun,
Right.
longer story.
Right,
of
like
some
if
sort,
RJ
you know?
if RJ City is keeping the women's division and he's in like he if somebody said to me, "Oh, RJ City is keeping Megan Bayne and he's going to keep the women's title," I'd be like, "Okay, fine."
Keeping
Like,
Megan
go ahead, let him. You know,
RJ City keeps the
RJ
women's
City
title.
is
That's all
in
I want.
possession of Megan Bayne. I repeat, he has Megan Bayne. No, I know what you mean though.
You know, like if
Yeah.
if you
No,
told
totally.
me that he was gonna make sure that she had a title reign, then I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Like, enjoy. Like, I'm at my leisure to receive
Yeah.
entertainment. But if they're
Right.
gonna get private partied, if she's gonna get private partied, then
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't want that.
Don't
Yeah,
get private.
exactly.
Listen, don't get private partied. Whatever you do. I would just try not to get private partied. And private party, you know I say that with love for you. I didn't want you to
Yeah.
get private partied.
No, not their fault. It's a thing that happens to you. Yeah.
I think for me, this is a classic case of like, I'm the bravest person in the world for saying it, but I think they should do something good. I think they should do something good, and I think someone else should figure out what that something good is, and I hope they will.
The people who make my TV show every week, they should just bravely decide to make it
Hey.
a good TV show.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
get in the
I can't
writers'
believe
room
they
and cook me up a
maliciously-
good storyline.
It's crazy that so often they maliciously decide to make a bad show. It's like, guys, have you ever thought about making a good one? I think people would like it better.
I
if
don't.
it was
And
good.
they get in there, they rile each other up. They're like, "Hey, should we be bad again? Should we do a bad episode again?"
Such a bad episode.
Oh my god, guys, should we do our worst ever episode?
They're gonna hate this. I'm gonna put that promo right in there.
I'm just imagining the like it's the classic like waiter coming to the table full of like women and being like, "And is anyone gonna be bad today?" All the AW, like the people in the room are just like, "We were thinking we'd be bad actually. We were thinking we'd be pretty bad." No.
Yeah, you kind of want to blow off the whole episode. What if we just put MJF talking for the first hour?
Oh my
and
god. And then
then FTR versus the Hurt Syndicate for the second hour?
oh my god. I think I have, I'm not going to stress about this one. I can't wait to see what they're doing.
No,
I
it's-
definitely don't think there's a clear path forward.
No,
So,
I don't either.
make the most of make your own luck. Make your own luck.
Immediately got make your own kind of music in my head.
Did you hear that, RJ? Now that you're in possession of Megan Bayne, make your own kind of music. All right. Well, speaking of FTR, Cope and FTR had their sit down, their group therapy session. Tony Schiavone was playing, I have to say, a pretty poor substitute for JR in his aging prime just a few years ago.
I wish
You really-
I wish they'd pull JR out just to do these sit downs because it's like
I know.
he's
I would
so good
rather.
at them.
I would
It's the
rather
only thing
that
he's good at.
than when they pull him out to comment on women's matches in pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I just
like this.
Although
this
I will
is-
say the last women's match where they dragged him out to do it, I was like, why would you do this? But then he didn't say
he was
anything
good.
very offensive that I heard.
He was fine.
So he really tried. Yeah.
But I am like, JR, didn't you train an interview protege? Didn't you train like a little therapist protege who could do that? Because Tony Schiavone was just kind of there. He didn't say anything. And it's actually so important to have the JR role of just sometimes being like, why would he do that?
Whoa,
Yeah,
fellas!
You just said that to me?
Wow.
We just met. Okay.
It was really his greatest skill set. Tony was just kind of there. But okay, so I seem to have written out a lot of this. I think it's because I rewatched the promo to make sure I could see it through my co-host Leah's eyes. Because I want to meet my
I also
friend
did. Yeah.
where she's at. So we're gonna this week we're gonna break it down line by line. So enter. We have Adam Copeland looking a little large and bewildered on one side.
And also like tired. He
Tired,
just looks so
sleepy.
slumped.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like a
And his
little
pants were
broken.
kind of a weird color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of a weird, it was like a kind of like an adult Gymboree outfit vibe.
It was, yeah. That's true.
Just here in my baby play suit to up there with my friends.
I don't know why I'm here. It wasn't real toddler energy. It's like someone just put me here. I don't know.
They just strapped me into the car seat, and next thing you know, I'm at therapy with Tony Schiavone. Cash is in the middle, and then Dax in a little pair of glasses and a little mustache. I mean, he always has one, but it just felt really present. Am I right about that? It felt really present.
Yeah, more present than usual, yeah.
And Dax is sitting there, and Dax says, I wanted us to have this time together because I really let my emotions get the better of me last week. And I felt, and he thought he did kind of emphasize it, I felt that FTR took a break from our goal, our focus, which is always...
JR set him down and was like, please use I statement.
I did feel like he had watched some kind of like male manipulator instruction guide. It was like, therapy can work for you. And he's sticking his little note. He says, I felt that FTR took a break from our goal, which has always been the tag team championship. We took a break from that for 4 months to help you realize your goal of being AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And after 2 tries, it didn't happen. And it just kind of ate at me emotionally. At which point Cope broke in to be like, I didn't make you do that. I tried to help you. They put bags over your head, guys. Which was a great reminder of where this all began.
It really was. Like, remember how they put bags over their heads and they dragged him out, and then the next we saw them, they were just sitting on a couch being like, well, you saw what happened. we did it. No.
It's true, actually, that Cope putting it that way does make it sound like, and the bags, to be clear, were the worst thing that happened. There were no secret crimes that were committed. Mm-hmm. It was just the bag thing mostly, and that was it wasn't respectful.
It was very humiliating to have a bag on your head on television.
And then we took you out to the parking lot, and then we removed the bags and let you go. Yeah, that was rough. It was a rough time.
Remember, it's like when you want to, you don't want to like humanely kill mice or whatever, so instead you like trap them and then you drive them 4 miles from your home and release them into the
Honestly, from AEW's perspective, yeah, let's trap Dax in a bag and then release him 4 miles away.
Yeah, see if that works.
See him again.
Hey, it's worth trying.
It's worth trying.
Blue sky thinking.
He might learn something out there. You know, the Homeward Bound dogs did.
Everyone's so mad at Mox, but if that was the plan, let's look back with fresh eyes.
Let him cook. Yeah.
Okay, pause, because I know we're talking about doing it to Dax, but I feel like Jon Moxley would thrive if you put a bag over his head, drove him 5 miles from the arena, and just let him loose with a GoPro on. I think that's 10 months of programming. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he gets up to.
He's not getting to the arena. Like, you're gonna have, like, that GoPro is gonna be like golden footage, but in no way somebody's gonna have to go get him.
He's about to make his own adventure.
Like outward bound thing you can pay money for. It seems like Jon Moxley would absolutely pay money to be dropped off in the wilderness with nothing.
Let's drop him off. I say that's not mean to you, Mox. I think you would like it, and I would like to see
thrive.
It. Yeah. We want you to. We're all trying to help you thrive. All right.
And in the meantime, someone else can have the belt for a while.
Yeah, they could just hang on to it for you.
Win-win-win.
Okay, so they put bags over your head. Dax is like, yeah. That's why I'm apologizing. I came here to apologize because I feel Cash cuts him off. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't watch you two fight. I can't be in the middle of it. He goes off on this long speech about like, everybody knows you're my best friend, Dax. Of course you are. But like one time I was sleeping in my car and Cope gave me a place to stay safely so that I could have a life. And so I owe him my life. And I just can't be doing this with you guys anymore. Dax again goes, that's why I'm apologizing. That's why I'm apologizing. I took it too far last week, and I do apologize. And now we've allowed Adam to realize his goals, and we've assisted.
That was the funniest thing he'd said. To realize his goal of trying for the belt, and of course, as failing, as we all knew he would. Yeah.
It's just like honestly, especially on rewatch, I was like, this is really funny. I have no idea if it's supposed to be. It's like, what is he's never been funny before. So.
I know. That's how I feel about this promo is I'm out there looking at the clouds and being like, guys, is that the fucking Eiffel Tower up there? And it's like, no, I don't know. Is it a jet trail? I don't know. Doing my best.
Oh my God. So he's like, I think it's time for us to focus on our goals. And Cash is like, dude, I have an even better idea. It's that we go for those trios belts again. I say, oh my God, we have trios belts. Right. We do have trios belts.
Surprising to all of us at this point. Yeah.
It's hard to remember. He says, I think rated FTR should go for the belts. And Cope is like, I'd love to. If you think we still got some juice in this orange or whatever, then let's juice it together and go for hey, let's juice together and let's go for those belts. Death Riders, we're fighting you at Dynasty. Dax is sitting there. He's kind of like, okay, we can do it. And then he says, top guys out. And Cope looks peeved and he says, rated FTR out. And Cash says, that sounds even better. Hey, buddy, that sounds even better. And Dax goes, okay, yeah. That's the end. So, Leah, I think you had the most immediate. I think, listen, we've all expressed more interest in this than we have in maybe anything else that FTR have ever done. So that's not nothing. Yeah. That's not nothing. But Leah, I think you had the most concrete,
positive,
interpretation of what you saw. So take us there.
Okay. With the caveat that I'm fully aware that everything I'm about to say, he's going to humiliate me next week by being like, none of that was intentional. And in fact, like, I was doing something completely different that's way stupider. And I'm going to have to get on here and be like, I apologize to my constituency. I apologize
That's
to
no
you.
different than usual. You know what? I don't think you don't feel, we won't feel
well,
ashamed.
For Dax, I have to give that
Of
caveat.
course, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember last week when we were saying, like, this heel turn could be so good if he was willing to embrace, like, the worst qualities about himself and, like, make it part of the thing. It felt to me like that entire promo was him being like, Cope is useless to us now. Why are we here?
Yeah.
I don't need, like, he couldn't win the belt.
Yeah.
He couldn't get us anything. There's nothing that Snan can offer us. Let's get out of here. We need to go find someone else to parasite off of. Cash, let's go. And Cash just kept being like, I love being with my friends.
But he's my friend.
It felt like he was so, like, openly, like, he was being fake and being like, yeah, no, I'm apologizing. But, like, this entire affect was like, you are nothing to me. What can you do for me? I have to get out of here.
It did just occur to me that it's like a funny, because of the therapy language, which again was so funny, and I don't know if he was employing it as humor on purpose, but it is like kind of right for him to come in and be like, okay, I'm going to tell him that we don't need him anymore, but like, it's because I'm holding a boundary for myself about the goals that Cash and I have that like we owe it to ourselves to pursue. And so I'm like in the right in this situation. It's like just to the left actually of the thing that the Bucks do every time they get tired of their middleman and they're just like, I can't with this guy anymore. Except what they do is so much funnier where they're just like, should we just like publicly turn on him?
Should we just murder him?
Should we just murder him? Could we just all kill Caesar, maybe? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, who knows if that's what we were supposed to get, but it did, I mean, especially the end when he was like, this is me and Cash's special catchphrase, and then for Cope to be like, what if we used our 3-person Cash's special catchphrase?
That's
and
bad.
Dax rolled his eyes and was like...
Yeah, okay, Mr. Two-time loss.
For the audio listener, Leah just did a jerk-off motion. I do think it was Dax's best face acting, especially at the end. I think I got less. I very much respect your cloud visioning. I didn't get as much like shine mining textuality, but Dax was definitely like trying to tell a story and definitely did it. I think, and it was by far the best storytelling work that FTR has ever done.
Ever the most storytelling work.
With the caveat that if Swerve or Hangman had delivered this to us, we would have been like, what is this garbage? What has happened to you?
My beautiful, talented boys who hurt you.
Yeah. But for FTR's first finger painting, it wasn't bad. They just have such a bad case of like tell, don't show that it's incredible.
They
like
do.
Cash is out there being like, and they even had Tony Schiavone being like, you guys, people don't even know you're basically next door neighbors. Like, you guys are so close. And it's like, again, I've never seen any evidence of this at all. They have come out here, like, instead of letting me experience them being friends by
Right.
interacting with each other. What they think is showing me that they're friends is coming out and giving a monologue about how
Yeah.
much they all love each other and their families. You know?
Yeah.
And both of them get this tone in their voice. Obviously, Dax wasn't using it last night, but Cash was. When they start to like try to get like emotionally like into something, their voice gets this tone that gets my back, like my
Yes.
shoulders are going up. When he was like, "I lived in my car, and I did this, and this happened to me," and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is terrible."
Yeah.
At one point,
That expository, you don't know the things I've gone through, and what they've gone through is like, well, you know, like I feel like once they complained about how no one ever believed in them because they were little guys, and it's like you're like
Normal
medium
size.
at AEW, yeah, like
guys, you're really normal size men.
yeah, please.
Yeah, I think like
And that was the thing that didn't work in this promo, is being like, we gave up on our goals to help you with your goals. And it's like, I haven't seen you guys with Cope. Cope has been getting beaten up by himself for a month now. So like,
right, which
Right.
actually would be interesting. That would be an interesting angle to do. It's like if Cope was just like, okay, well, I
Yeah.
haven't seen you in like 6 weeks. I mean, like, I don't think I was
Yeah.
holding you back or anything.
Right,
Like, if
yeah.
it's kind of fun. Like, especially if they actually are heel turning, it is a fun heel thing for Dax to be like, and we actually gave up everything for you. And he's
Yeah.
just
I was
like,
half
no.
a virgin when I met you.
But that Cope is just like, I haven't even seen you around. Like, you could have just booked your own matches. These aren't, it's not one or the other. You can pursue these two things at the same time. But if like, you know, it's like Dax is kind of like narcissistic guilt tripping. Like, that's fun.
Totally.
I don't trust that he knows that he's doing it on purpose. Like the therapy language thing, I can't get over it. It's like, it's so, I felt that FTR took a break from our goal. It's just like, yeah, that's great. Like, that is a great modern heel vibe. But you know it though, right? Like, you know, you're doing it on purpose. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
It is really good because it really was the vibe, was like he and his therapist had really hammered out a script
Yeah.
for this conversation, breaking up with Copeland, and then he got there and like Cash totally screwed
totally.
him over.
Cash was not on the same page.
Also, that Dax would be the person that, like, you privately to your friends are like, I wish I could call his therapist and say, like,
Yeah.
you know he's lying, right? Like,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I just want to make sure, like, she doesn't believe everything he says.
Right.
Well, I think we'll just have to track it. I think we'll have to track it and see what happens. But I do see I see the vision, and I do think it's probably the most storytelling we've seen from them in recent history. So,
And have we ever proven more how open our hearts are?
true.
If anyone
Wow.
puts in a little bit of effort.
we're literally so virtuous. Okay, we're generous. We're good-hearted. We're amazing people. Please entertain us, okay?
Yeah, that's all we ask.
Just do good art. If you would like to continue, do good art, okay? All right, it was a big night out for the Callis family at Dynamite. 3 of Dawn's beautiful boys were up to bat throughout the night. First, Kyle Fletcher fought Brody King and won. This was a long and fairly fun match, although I will say my in-person experience was a little too long. I could have gone a little shorter. And I liked the match. It's not that I wasn't having fun. A lot of it was really fun, but there was a certain point where I was like, okay, that's enough. Let's go. Just hurry this thing along. Don Callis. Oh, I have to say something about knowing moves here. I have to let you guys know, after last week where I said to you to name a move, and then you guys named some moves, and then I named like one move. The whole night at Dynamite, I kept being like, seeing a move and being like, I bet I could name it. And then just thinking, blah, blah, knee, soup, on the ground, hit, backsplash. Like, turned out I couldn't name any of them. I mean, it was almost, I think it was impressive in its own way. How few moves I could name when I really tried.
Yeah, I still remember the time that Jeff said to me, wow, that flying arrow was amazing. And I said, Jeff, you know I don't know what that was. And he said, Excalibur just said it. Yeah.
I don't hear those. I don't hear
No,
those
it's
things.
not- yeah.
Okay.
But who can tell the Jacksons apart, though? That's the... You know, we all have our skill sets.
It's us.
We all have our skill sets.
Hey, in case anyone was wondering, we can tell the Jacksons apart. Don Callis was attempting to interfere throughout this match. Eventually, Mark Davis came out and did successfully interfere and helped Kyle win. And then after that, Kyle and Mark Davis had like a kind of an intimate ringside moment where they were like pressing their foreheads together like they had like remembered that they were married. And so it was like, that was kind of sweet. And then Mark Davis got in the ring and Kyle shoved him. And I was like, what's happening here? And then he was being like, let's beat him up some more. And then Mark Davis happily did beat him up some more. So I don't know if they like each other. I don't know the status of their relationship.
The commitment they have to never letting us know what is up between Kyle and Mark Davis is almost impressive.
It is, because it's not even like it's not just that they're telling us one thing and doing another thing. It's that they're telling us one thing and then they're doing 5 other things. And so you're just sort of like, wait, but what?
Now, which one do you want me to watch? Which one? I only got 2 eyes. Okay. So where do you want them focused?
Each eye and each ear are giving me different inputs, and I just can't put it together.
It's a beautiful cacophony from the Callis family.
And it's so funny on top of it for Kyle and Takeshita right now to be so psychotically vocal about how they are in love and that they're sexually obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
And it's the most important thing in the world. Because you kind of get the vibe that like Kyle is currently trapped in this like situation where he's with his new husband who he's madly in love with, and for some reason he's handcuffed to his ex-husband who he kind of hates, you know.
Okay, which, as you say, it sounds like a great rom-com plot. I would watch it. So in that sense, now I like it more. It's not clear what's going on. Can I ask you guys, could you see the Don Callis impersonator on TV?
I saw a screenshot of it on Twitter later. I don't think I saw him.
I have to say, he actually was incredibly funny. I feel like a little bit like someone's going to be like, the audience shouldn't be taking that much attention, or you know what I mean? Like in the moment I was like, is it okay to do this? But then I was like, I don't really care, because it is really, really funny, because he looked so much like Don Callis from a distance, to the point where early on I was like, oh, why is Don Callis sitting in the crowd? And then every time the crowd, Minnesota went crazy chanting "fuck Don Callis." I feel like I've never heard that many fucks get chanted in a night. I kept being like, guys, I don't think we're allowed to do this. But and every time we did it, the Don Callis impersonator would stand up and try to make everybody sit down. It was so funny. I really liked him.
Did Don Callis himself acknowledge him at all?
I don't think so. But he would just like ape what Don Callis was doing sometimes. Like, it was great. Okay, so then let's try and put together what happened. So at the end of this match, Brody King is getting beaten up by Kyle Fletcher and his ex-husband Mark Davis, who are handcuffed together. And Will Hobbs' music hits. And in the ring, then there's a period of like 10 minutes where I don't know what the fuck is happening, because I guess for part of it they went to commercial. So this went on for a long time. But I did watch it back, and what I understand is that commentary said this match isn't supposed to happen right now. And Will Hobbs came out, I guess, to rescue Brody King. He didn't seem interested in Brody King, really. He didn't express any.
No.
But he came out at an opportune
time. But he was
time.
chasing them off, and then they were kind of fighting together.
Were they?
Yeah.
Well, they were both there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they like threw some guys out of the ring, kind of.
Yeah, Brody King did throw Kyle Fletcher out of the ring. But they didn't, I don't think they acknowledged each other. I don't think they even like shook hands or anything to be like, thanks.
No, they didn't shake hands or anything. Yeah.
I have to say, I'd love to know anything about what is going on in Will Hobbs' head, because I just don't understand why he does anything that he does. Ever.
No. And kind of Brody King too.
Does he have a friend right now? Maybe that could be someone for Ospreay? Does he have any friends?
Who, Brody King?
Will Hobbs.
Does he have any friends?
Will Hobbs.
I thought
he doesn't
you
have any
said, does he
friends.
have a son right now? Like, for Will Ospreay to be friends with him. I was like, oh, she's doing a Will Ospreay preschool bit. I think.
No, I think Will Hobbs is a lone wolf right now, I think. So, yeah, Ospreay should see if he wants to sit together at lunch.
It's worth trying, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, because they're not supposed to be having the match right then, security comes out and is, like, keeping Mark Davis and Will Hobbs apart from each other. And then I guess eventually they were just like, I don't know, they want to be together so bad. I guess we'll just do the match. So, does that seem right?
I think is as right
I
as
think
anything
so.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It was pretty wild. Also, these security guards, like, they were very enthusiastic for their jobs, but sometimes, like Hobbs or Brody King were, like, throwing them out of the ring. But like, just the way they were doing it, it really just looked like the security guards were kind of doing flipping themselves out of the ring. You know, which is fun.
They didn't want to be near those big scary men anymore. They were like,
it's just like, I gotta
this
get out
isn't what
and
I
dive
signed up
off
for.
the edge.
When Dustin had to sign that union contract, he said we wouldn't have to do this anymore.
Where was Dustin
I was
Ricochet's wedding?
Scrutinizing those security guards because I was like, if it
Mhm.
turns out that Dustin was here and I missed him, I'm gonna lose it. So I really had to make sure that he wasn't in there, but he was not.
He was gonna be a security guard. Then we all noticed him and we all called it out and got spooked. And now he'll never come
Yeah.
out again.
That was gonna be his
know.
regular gig, and then he was like, oh, absolutely fucking not. No way.
Yeah.
Next
we
time
all-
he comes on screen, everyone in public, shut your damn mouths
Yeah.
and don't
Yeah,
tap
don't
on the
say anything.
aquarium.
Very, very still.
Don't
Hands
tweet
inside
about
the
it.
car.
You can only react to it inside Discords.
So
And private ones where he cannot secretly
Yeah,
be.
don't go into the squared circle
Guys.
Discord.
I'm just saying, are you prepared to abide by this on our own podcast? Do you solemnly swear not to discuss Dustin the
Oh my
next time he
God.
shows up on screen
Right.
on this podcast?
We'll put it on the medical Patreon.
That's fair. That's because that's behind a paywall. Perfect. Only behind a paywall, guys. What was I gonna say? Okay, yeah. So then Hobbs and Davis fight, and they fight. That's fine. It's totally fine. No worries.
Yeah.
And then Takeshita fought Mark Briscoe, and that also happened. And it was totally fine that it happened.
Yeah.
I think it might have been fun. Actually, I think Anna and Josh really enjoyed it because a couple times Anna kept trying to like poke me and be like, "Oh, look at that" during the match, but I was using it as an opportunity to catch up on Blue Skies. because I was sleepy and I didn't know why it was happening, to be perfectly frank. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was a perfectly fine match. And I enjoyed, being like, that's Kyle Fletcher's real husband. But
Yeah.
it was fine.
And he's a beautiful man. Of course, I watched at times and said, beautiful, good wrestling. Mark Davis, you're beautiful
guys
too.
Want to name some moves, some more moves that Takeshita and Mark Briscoe used? We could just name some, I'm sure.
Snap dragon.
Snap dragon. Kung Fu Chicken.
Panda. Something knee. A knee. Brian
Running knee.
Danielson has a knee that he does, and it starts with a B. But
Brian,
Basaku
Of course,
knee.
there's the sexy Chucky knee.
Sexy Chucky knee, her favorite. Thunder Bomb. Lex Luthor Thunder Bomb.
Do you guys remember Sarah Shockey telling that story about
Yes.
some small indie promotion asked her to do commentary, and then she got up there and she couldn't remember the name of any move, so she just started making up her own names for moves, and then the
Yeah.
promotion got mad at her and
my
was like,
They like
"Don't do that."
they talked to her and they were like, "That's actually very disrespectful," which is pretty funny.
Oh, but so that's why we've never been asked to do commentary. Otherwise, they'd probably be knocking down our doors.
Yeah, I'm
but,
banging down the door for sure.
Yeah. All right. Final topic of the night. MJF came out on Dynamite to respond to MVP's offer for him to join the Hurt People. He cut a little cheap heat promo that I have to say it's quite fun to be in the city that MJF's being mean to. Like, you really do feel catered to in the ring. And I will say, like, the casual fan especially loves it. They were just like, that is where we are. Thank you, And he said to MVP, I've said I'd never make a friend again, but, and it was like, this isn't about making friends. I think anyone thinks that's what this is. But he was like, okay, I will join your faction. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. Oh, okay.
Shelty and
Shelty
Benji, as you
and
called them.
That's not my finest moment. That's not my finest moment. Shelton and Bobby came out, and their vibe was like, we had no idea this meeting was happening, and we're furious. And they took, I guess MJF had a nice little card of offer or something, and they took it and they ripped it up. They were like, you are not joining our faction. And MJF was like, well, what the fuck? And left. And he was replaced moments later by Brian Keith and Big Bill, who came right out. Moments earlier, they had received backstage a little tongue lashing from Chris Jericho, who was like, seems like you guys never fucking win, despite being super seniors at my accredited Institute of Higher Learning. It's time to win or get out of the nest, jump out the nest. And so they came out and they were like, well, we need to learn, so we'd like to fight you. But they didn't say it like that, because actually everyone went back and forth saying bitch to each other a lot. And they said bitch everyone said bitch. MVP said bitch the most and the worst, but Big Bill felt, I think, emboldened by it. So he also said bitch, which hurt my feelings.
I don't like it.
It's like only Okada can say that, and him only in limited circumstances.
Only a little cheeky. It's because he says it cheeky, bitch.
Yeah. And MVP was like calling Brian Keith a girl, and it's like as an insult, which is it makes you sound like an old man when you do
really
that kind of
does. The last thing he called Brian Keith Big Bill's girlfriend, and I was like, only we're allowed to say that because it's a compliment to call a man a girlfriend.
Right. When we call a man a girlfriend, it's the highest award that we can offer. How dare you?
I really didn't like it. This did feel like so. I just didn't know why
I really
it was
turned
happening.
on MVP. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just felt like every signal being like, oh, this isn't intended for us. Like, we're not supposed to be watching this.
Yeah.
Can we also call out this line? Big Bill said this. It's not problematic, except it's confusing. I can't tell if you're American Psycho or Iceberg Slim. Are you a pimp or are you a businessman? American Psycho to you is a businessman? That's how you would characterize Christian Bale in American Psycho. Instead of saying serial killer, you would say a businessman.
I think we all think of Christian Bale in American Psycho primarily as someone who works in finance. Yeah.
Anna and I just kept saying American businessman to each other for the rest of the night. So crazy. What were you saying, Anne? Sorry.
Oh, just a pimp is a businessman.
So he has his own business. Yeah.
Small business.
Yeah. He's an entrepreneur. In fact.
Yeah.
Really, that was really confusing stuff. But actually, having read fairly recently, I watched American Psycho, and I think I told you guys about this. Actually, maybe I said it on the podcast. I was like, wow, I'd never seen this movie before. It actually is a really good movie. That I'm understanding now that many people watch and don't really think about correctly. And they're just like, it's really cool to be Christian Bale. And then I went and looked at all the reviews for it on Google, and the vibe of the reviews is people being like, wow, Christian Bale was such an interesting American businessman with this. Like, I wish I could be an American businessman with a beautiful apartment like that.
Well, that's like Fight Club when you just experience it just based on what other people are. You're like, yeah, it's a movie celebrating masculinity.
Yeah. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, sensing that many of you are taking away the wrong message from the film.
I think you didn't watch that right, and I think you should try again.
Oh my God. Okay, so they went back and forth for a while. Later in the show, the Hurt People had a backstage segment where Bobby Lashley accused MVP of hugging with MJF on TV. And Shelton Benjamin said, I don't know, MJF has a reputation. And Lashley said, he's grimy and not to be trusted. And MVP said, that's why I like him. And that was a great interaction that actually I loved. So it's unfortunate that I was still quite mad at everybody involved from the bitch off earlier.
Yeah, them doing some intra-faction tension is fun, and they need to do that and actually have some little
And it was
I mean,
funny.
they didn't show a lot of personality.
It was
but they
funny.
showed some personality, and it was funny.
He's grimy and he's not to be trusted. That's funny.
Delightful.
Yeah.
That's funny. They do need to do some promos where Shelton and Benji.
Shelty and Benji, yes. Everyone is saying that that's their names.
I did see someone on the internet was like, I can't believe everybody yelled at Tunnel Talk for saying that Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley were a tag team, and then they immediately became a tag team and won the belts. It's like, yeah, we were right about that. Anyways, like, they need to do promos where they're allowed to talk and have some kind of personality, because I am sort of like, well, I don't know whose side I'm on, because sometimes MJF can be fun, but like, what is your vibe? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Will you guys be fun together? I couldn't tell you because I don't know who you are.
I don't
Yeah.
know. And I'm very out of sorts with MVP. So
Oh
Yeah.
it's hard to know what will happen.
Montel.
And then the final section here. Oh, this is all nothing, but it was fun. This week on Collision, Hook squashed Max Caster. Another funny squash, said Manolo. So true, King. It was.
Manolo gets it.
And then on
Brian Alvarez might not. But
Brian Alvarez
Manolo gets it.
doesn't get it. And then on Dynamite, Hook and Samoa Joe were hanging out backstage. Could either of you understand what Samoa Joe said?
No, I couldn't. I got the same gist that you did, where he was like, "Why did you do that?"
Same.
But he said something that I couldn't catch.
I didn't catch a single word of it, but the gist seemed to be, why did you waste your time squashing Max Caster last week? And Hook was like, I don't know. He's just like so chokeable. It's like so fun to choke him out. And Samoa Joe was like, I guess. And then they immediately saw Max Caster and came up behind him. And Samoa Joe was like, I guess maybe I'll try it. And then he choked him out. And afterwards was like, okay, yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
Again, I could not have predicted in 1,000,000 years that Hook was what Samoa Joe needed to be fun.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
turns out, like, both of them, I'm enjoying them more than I have in like the entire time they showed up.
Yeah, you just show them in the frame together, and I'm suddenly like having a good time. And this was fun too, because when they walked up on Max Caster, he was like talking to I think Top Flight, and he was
yes.
holding his patent and being like, "Yeah, and I'm the best wrestler alive, and everyone's cheering for me. And my partner, he's doing like my old Bowens.
You haven't
like,
seen him
doing jack
anywhere
shit right now. Yeah, it was just like I love the image of Max Caster just like floating between groups backstage, giving them like a sad little like talk about how he's doing great and Bowens is doing bad actually.
And actually now like, was he actively being like, break up? It's great. It's great to be on your own.
He was. He was like, you guys should go solo. And like, they were like staring at him like he was crazy.
he's
And
like-
he was like, it's wonderful.
It's like, guys, when you're single, you can sleep in the star position. And they were just like, okay, I don't know what you're talking to us. The only note that this was really fun. Max Caster is doing great work. He's doing great.
Yeah.
The best
Yeah.
work of his life, perhaps. And I think it will be good when he and Bowens have their big fight, which I assume they will. Top Flight did the send him home happy, because they're hometown boys, and it was very funny because Tony came out to give his little speech, which I always enjoy, and he just kept saying like, and before I bring out some people that you just saw and you saw them a while ago and you'll see them again in a minute, and he just did that like 5 times, telling us stuff, which was great. And then Top Flight came out and they did a really sweet little speech. They did a good job. And they were like, and here we have our family on stage. This is our brother. This is our mom and dad. And this is our friend Pam. And I cheered so loud. I was like, Pam, you're an icon. To just be on stage, this is our friend Pam. Mwah. Pam, you will always be famous to me. You were the star of the show.
Incredible. What age range was Pam?
Pam
Was
looked
it,
like
fam.
I was far away, so I don't want to, insult, but Pam looked older to me, like a mom age.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I really liked
like
that.
a family friend.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
That's
So
good.
really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Top Flight is never beating the mommy sweetie boy
Oh no,
allegations.
no, never. No, never. And we had so much. It was nice that they had a match, and everyone had so much fun cheering for them.
That's really nice.
And I will say that Anna and Josh were very impressed by their acrobatics, and I was like, yeah, they're really good at them. But they don't really do anything very often, actually. So we'd love to see them more.
they kind of got private partied a little bit.
At this company who hasn't been private partied. All right, Anne, am I kicking it to you?
Ooh, it's time for the Best Bods finale.
Woo! I'm scared.
Hey, now that's a boy that I could get into.
Oh, God, this is such a good wrestle boy.
Perfect boy. Glide, you beautiful boy. Glide, you beautiful boy.
Best Bods in AEW tournament. Week 5.
Woo.
Our finals. Boy, there have been some beautiful bodies in our retrospective here.
We have seen some bodies. We have loved some bodies.
And we'll continue to see and
Some
love
bodies.
some of the bodies. Some bodies we'll never see again, Justin.
One body. In
There's
particular.
one body that I don't think we'll be seeing again anytime soon. But we'd love to be proven wrong.
Yeah. But it's our final matchup, which is Swerve versus Hangman.
And what a
Feud of
what
the
a
year.
week for it. I mean,
What a week.
Mm-hmm.
The passion they brought back. They knew. They knew
Yeah.
it was their finals.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's fair to choose because these bodies want to be together, as we said last week.
These
It's
bodies
like-
love each
These
other.
bodies love
It
each
does
other.
feel like we should be able to be like, and we're wrapping here.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know.
where we go.
It's like the.
Let's celebrate.
Well, I guess I won't spoil it, but it's like a perfect ending. You don't know who wins, but you know that whoever wins, it's right.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all win.
And you, the listener, you could fade to black, just stop this episode right now and just be like, wow,
God, yeah.
can't believe we'll
Yeah.
never know what happened.
You can just imagine the ending that you want, or imagine a million endings.
It's the final scene of The Sopranos, you know?
So true, Anne. A show that we stopped watching because
We did, yeah.
it was too good for us to watch.
We were enjoying it too much. Yeah.
Well, ladies, who's
Where to
who's
begin?
prepared to make an opening statement? Anyone? Bueller?
It's really hard to know where to start.
I mean, there's just, you know.
And they're both just near perfect specimens of manhood, really. I always like watching them wrestle too because they're just like the same
Yeah.
size, you know? They're
Yeah.
just like,
They're willing,
Really
they're perfectly
matching pair.
matched. Wheeling through space in the sky, like I keep saying recently. They're a perfect constellation. Fight
Yeah.
forever is the name of the
Just like-
constellation.
a Castor and Pollock
Yes,
situation in the
exactly
night sky.
so.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't
know where. I don't even
I don't feel
know
good.
how to. It feels so hard to like be like, oh, which do I like better? Like they're both art. They're both perfect.
We have to choose.
It's true.
We did this to ourselves, guys.
know.
We did, yeah. I do wish Swerve had a little bit of chest hair
Yeah,
there.
I would like
Which
that.
everyone's bringing back. I noticed this week that Jericho has been growing his chest hair out.
Did
which
he? I
think
didn't
is
even notice
new.
that. Good for
Yeah.
him.
I know many
know.
many won't like to hear this, but Anna turned to me and said, "He's never looked better."
Wow.
Thank you.
Your proximity just infects everybody.
It felt so good. I was like, so true. He has not ever looked better. Okay, but he didn't make the best bodies bracket, so let's focus up. So chest hair is back, but not yet on Swerve.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Swerve's shoulders are broader, are they not?
I don't know.
Oh. I think you're
I
probably
think
right.
it might just be that I think they might be similar, but he has kind of like a trimmer waist. Like he tapers a little more. He Doritos a little more than Hangman.
Doritos.
But I kind of like the thickness
Yeah.
through the middle on Hangman, you know?
Hangman's got a nice softness there. Yeah.
Sure does.
They both got great chests. I really can't pick between them.
well,
Very, very
you're gonna have
similar
to, bud.
nipple size.
Very similar nipples. We're just looking for anything. We're like just saying things we see. Like,
Similar nipple size. I love a similar nipple size on a man.
Well, because I was like, neither of them get the pepperoni nipple bonus points.
oh, sure. They both have belly buttons.
So true. So
Not like
true.
Kyle XY.
Also,
are
didn't
we
make the
supposed
best
to
body
deep cut?
bracket.
What are we supposed to do here? What if this episode goes 3 hours because we simply can't
We just keep
make a
not
decision?
choosing. You hang up first. No, you hang up first.
I will say, I think for me, Hangman just edges out Swerve viscerally, because I think Swerve just has a little bit, tips over the muscle, like a little bit more visible muscle, and I like the little bit more softness with Hangman, but it's so close.
I think it's Swerve for me, because Swerve has so much more of like the way he carries himself is very like dangerous panther.
Yeah.
And that is just very ferally intoxicating.
I don't think I don't think it's fair that is a body thing that you can say, but like my Hangman thing, I can't say because mine is like Hangman always looks like he's about to look at himself in the mirror and go, stupid. And that's what I find hot. Fucking idiot. I can't believe you.
I mean, in a way, that is a similar thing to what Leah just said, so maybe it is fair.
Don't you see that in the body?
I mean, it is. It's in his shoulders. It's in his
You're
the
right.
whole,
He
the
does
way he
have his
carries
little
himself
hunch.
is very.
You just have to preface it by saying, I like the way Hangman carries himself, like he's about to call
yes.
himself stupid in the mirror.
I see it writ in every muscle and oh God. I don't
You're the tiebreaker.
You're the tiebreak. No pressure.
I don't like this. I don't like being in this position. It doesn't bring me joy. I love both of these bodies very much, but to be true to myself, I can't go with the more Doritoed, slightly more muscled body. I do have to go with the Hangman Adam Page body.
Wow.
I don't like that. I don't
That was a
like
tough
it. They're
one.
just
Wow.
both perfect. I mean, it's like you can't, it's like those
Yeah.
thighs, you
Well-
can't, Hangman, you don't have those, but you have your own thighs that are good. We don't see them that much, but what? What's happening?
Now that we've made this decision, we'll never see Swerve again.
He's,
Oh,
then
no.
now he leave us. That would be so bold to be like, if I don't get number one in the best bodies tournament, I'm quitting. I'm taking my bag and I'm walking out.
Going to WWE. Enjoy it while you saw it.
Listen, we've said it every week of March, and it's been a fun March. And let's say it again now. The answer could be different any night, any other night.
Yeah.
It was
And next year in the C2, anything could happen.
anything could happen. Like,
Can we call it the B2?
The B2.
Nice.
Yeah, best spots.
best spots.
The
God, that's
B2.
good. That's really fucking good.
That's really good.
I feel sick about what we've had to do here. I really don't.
I
I really
know.
don't like this.
I know.
We've had to kill so many of our darlings.
Yeah.
We only have
But Swerve, thank you for your body.
dude.
Boy.
Thank you. You are so beautiful, and I just feel. I even feel bad already that I'm saying things like too much Dorito. Like, look at you. You look fucking great. You're perfect. Whatever. This blows.
So many people didn't make it to the finals who really. You know.
I like how we had so much fun until we got to this. And now we're like, can't believe we got marched to our execution.
It's all fun and
we
games
shouldn't,
until
we shouldn't have rated
we
the
shouldn't have
bodies.
rated the
shouldn't have
bodies.
done
We
it.
flew too close to the fucking sun, and my ass got burnt. Please don't take them away from us. Please, to everyone
Yeah.
that we called out,
Thank you.
we really appreciate you for your bodies, but we appreciate you as performers, most of all, and as
Yeah.
people.
We
as human
respect you
beings.
for your beautiful minds.
what we
We
know
love your
of them,
personalities.
your personalities, your intelligence, your kindness, if you have it. Any other attributes that you may have, look inside yourself and ask, like, what attributes have people told me I have? And then think of those things and think, wow, this girl said that they love that about me. And we do. We
Yeah.
definitely do. Whatever it is. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you're really good at baking, or maybe you're really fun to go on road trips with, or maybe you have a really cool party trick that you should show us. Just talking to talk at this point. just not in the mood to
But
shut
sure,
up.
there's so many special things that make each human so valuable. Really, you know?
So true.
And so complete.
Wow.
So more than the sum of their parts. Yeah.
Making this decision has broken us. Nothing what we've said in the past 10 minutes has made any sense.
No, I feel like we're in an I'm so upset at what we've done rated the bodies that I'm just like now I've gone into like a PBS children's TV world. I'm in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and I'm just like, here in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, we know that everyone has a unique value. You're all my neighbors. don't change a thing, and never don't you know. I don't know.
Don't try.
Hey,
don't change a hair for me. Not if you care for
and
me.
don't be scared. And I'm not scared either. I feel okay. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's been fine. It's been fine. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But hey,
This is like,
you know.
one time in college, I was sitting with a guy friend of mine, and he was like, look at that guy over there. Like, what would you rate him on a scale of 1 to 10? And I was like, what? I don't know. And he was like, no, just rate him. I was like, I feel so uncomfortable. I
crazy.
like literally couldn't do it. Like, girls are not cut out to
No.
do it because we're constantly being rated on a scale, and when it's not fair.
I would never know how to rate someone.
No, I felt so uncomfortable. I think he was just kind of conducting market research was the vibe, but
That actually was my reaction to, I went to the doctor this week, and they ask you all kinds of questions about your lifestyle, and every time they asked me a question, that actually was my vibe. Like, how could you ask me that? What do you mean? You want me to, you want me to quantify it? I don't know. Like, they're like, we just asked if you smoke. I'm like, well, no, but I could. Anything could happen. We just asked how many times a week, ma'am. Technically 0, but I don't like that we've had to do this.
I always like when they ask you if you wear your seatbelt. Like, I'm always like, yes.
They didn't ask me that. They don't care.
Oh.
But they did ask
mine
if I feel
always
safe at
asks me.
home. I said, well, I don't
that's
laugh.
good.
But
I used to have a
I used to
roommate.
have a roommate.
I used to be a roommate, but
Oh my god.
that's for you Iron Claw heads out
Yeah,
there.
for the claw heads. All right. Was there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Every human being's individual value and worth.
Yeah, should we get on that for a while more? I don't think I said earlier, I should have said it earlier, that I got to meet up with one of our listeners at the show. Frankie, you were amazing. You were so sweet, and he made the sweetest sign for us. Yeah, thank you for
So
you
cool.
for being nice and fun.
That's so fun. I'm so glad you guys got to
I
meet
know.
up. That's nice.
Yes. And while we're rectifying things that we should have said earlier, I should also say that Trish and Sarah have been being incredibly
Oh my
kind
gosh,
to us
they
in the past
really have.
3 episodes.
Guys,
They
and
really have.
too nice.
I
You're too
keep
nice.
forgetting.
Yeah, way too nice.
I produce for them on Sundays, so like I hear it on Sunday, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the nicest thing that's ever happened to me, and I would keep forgetting to call it out by the time on Thursday that we're recording, but everybody's been very nice to us.
It's so
Frankie, Trish, and Sarah.
we don't deserve it.
we don't deserve it, but also it's like we talk ourselves into our dumb little giggle fest, and then we get to the end, and I always feel so like I no longer have a brain left to explain all the wonderful things about like your guys' podcast. It's like to talk about like how much we love
Yeah.
listening to ONR and Trish and Sarah.
Yeah.
So maybe we should be smarter, and maybe we should be smarter in general.
Hey,
No.
maybe that'll
We
be
should
our
try. Yeah.
spring 2025. Be smarter.
Be smarter and tell your friends how cool they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have some pretty cool friends.
We do.
Pretty lucky.
And that's kind
Very
of
lucky.
because of how cool we are. Just fucking kidding.
You know what I thought this week? I thought, when's What's Making Me Happy coming back? Now that
Oh,
it's light
God.
outside.
And why would you do this to me?
Leah, I think you love it. I think you love
Yeah.
it.
It perks you up. It's good for
It
you.
is good for you. And dude, I know things are making you happy. How many seasons into ER are you?
Yeah. You
She
did
wanted
it.
13. How is it? Is it good?
Not that good.
Oh, okay.
It had a fall off, I think, but yeah.
The tooch
But
is
it-
on it.
That's
the
crazy.
Tooch is on it?
I had no idea Stanley Tucci
I'm
was
literally,
on.
I got kind of
Yeah.
sexy
Hot
about it.
Claudio?
I'm like clutching my, oh my God, the Tooch? Wow.
It is funny that we only practice gratitude in the summer months.
When you
think
need it
about
least.
It's because I need a break from it.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I think you could use it in the winter months. I think we all could.
We could do it. We could do it in the winter months, but then you have to stop it in the summer. You can't make me do it year
I
round.
think we should do it year round. Listeners,
The biggest stressor of my life.
listeners, do you think that we should show gratitude year round?
Stop it.
Sexy
Stop it.
little gratitude
I
practice.
will quit this
You
podcast.
can't
I will
because
go
you
join.
can't because it's
I'll
emotion.
go join ONR.
Oh, you think they'll have you?
Oh, you're gonna go over there and say the things that you say here? I don't think
Yeah.
they would permit it.
Just gonna get sprayed by James full time.
Rich and James weigh in. Would you let her abandon us? I don't think they would.
Maybe I'll get into New Japan and I'll join Keeping It Strong style.
Well, yeah, you can run, but you'll never.
Josh will let me say anything I want.
You will never get away from the sound of the women who love you. Time cast a spell on you. You will not forget me. All right. I think that has to be enough. That has to be enough. We love all of you, our listeners. We love all of our fellow podcasters. We love everybody. We love Mr. Rogers. We love gratitude. And this has been Allie.
I've been in.
And I've been Leah.
This is Tunnel Talk. Our theme is by Chris Corkin. You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Twitch at Tunnel Talk Pod. Via email, tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. We have souvenirs now. You can find them at our souvenir stand at top-tees.com. Oh shit, fuck. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. You can find us on our feed. You can find us on the Social Suplex Network feed. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Stay frosty and come back next week.